Hi there, welcome back to chemistry. My name is Jeremy Krug, and in this video, we're learning about how to calculate the partial pressure of a gas mixture. If you're new to my channel, take a look around. I hope you like what you see. Check out the playlists, that's where the action is. And I hope you'll find that this is the place for both honors chemistry and AP chemistry as you're learning chemistry. So if you like what you see, go ahead and slam that thumbs up button. If you really like what you see, consider subscribing to my channel. That would be wonderful. Now, as we jump into the concept of partial pressure of a gas, let's take a look at a diagram to help us kind of understand what's going on here. Now, in this diagram, we have, as you can see, a total of 10 molecules. Now, 7 of these molecules seem to be red X's. And 3 of these molecules seem to be blue triangles. And so my question for you is, what percentage of the pressure in that closed container is due to the red X molecules? Well, hopefully you can see that since there are 7 red X molecules out of the 10 total, that's 7/10 or 70%. And that's because 7/10 or 70% of the molecules are red X's. Now, what if I ask you about the blue triangles? What percentage of the pressure is due to the blue triangle molecules? Well, once again, we take the blue triangle molecules, 3 of them, and divide them by the total. That's 10. So 3 divided by 10 is 3/10 or 30%. And once again, that's because 3/10 of the molecules are blue triangles. Now, this concept here of determining the fraction of the molecules in a container, or the mole fraction of the molecules in a container, whenever you're talking about lots of molecules, this is the concept behind partial pressure. Now, Dalton's law of partial pressures tells us that the partial pressure of a gas, and that basically just means the pressure that a specific gas is responsible for in a gas mixture, is equal to the mole fraction that gas is occupying in the mixture, which is represented by the letter X, times the total pressure inside that container. Now, when we say mole fraction, that's like the 7/10 or the 3/10 that we calculated just a minute ago. We're going to use this equation to calculate the partial pressure of a gas. Now, let's do a couple of examples with this gas law. Here's an example. It says a flask has a total pressure of 1.25 atmospheres. If the flask contains 7.20 moles of water vapor and 12.9 moles of carbon dioxide gas, then what is the partial pressure of part A, water vapor, and part B, carbon dioxide? Now, whenever I work a problem with Dalton's law of partial pressures, personally, I like to draw a diagram to help us see what's going on here. So once again, we see this is a Dalton's law problem, so there's the equation. Here is a little diagram to help us see what's going on here. We have 7.20 moles of water and 12.9 moles of carbon dioxide, and I have a little pressure gauge here drawn in that shows that my total pressure is 1.25 atmospheres. Right out of the problem. Now, to find the partial pressure of the water vapor in part A, first of all, I have to find out what the mole fraction is of the water vapor. Well, I can see that there are 7.2 moles of water, and I have to divide that by the total moles. So 7.2 moles plus 12.9 moles gets us a total of 20.1 total moles in that container. Now, some students ask, why do I have to add this together? Well, it's kind of like in that other example with the triangles and the X's. We had 7 X's and 3 triangles. We divided each one of those by the total, which was, well, 10, 7 plus 3. It's the same thing here. We have to take 7.2 plus 12.9 to get our total moles. That's how we get the fraction of something, taking however much you have of it and dividing it by the total sum that you have in all. So that's our mole fraction, whatever 7.2 divided by 20.1 is. Now, I have to multiply this by the total pressure in the container. And according to the problem, that's 1.25 atmospheres. So I can take a calculator and take 7.20, divide by 20.1, and multiply by 1.25 atmospheres to find that the partial pressure of the water vapor is 0.448 atmospheres. So there we have the answer to part A. Now part B, carbon dioxide, I basically do the same thing, except to find the mole fraction of the carbon dioxide this time, I take 12.9 moles divided by the total, which is still 20.1. So that's the mole fraction of carbon dioxide. And once again, I have to multiply that by the total pressure, which is still 1.25 atmospheres. So this time on my calculator, I take 12.9 divided by 20.1 times 1.25, and I find that the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 0.802 atmospheres. Now, one thing that you might notice here is that we have two partial pressures. If we've done our work correctly, the two partial pressures of these individual gases should add up to give us the total pressure in the container. Does that work? Well, I believe it does, because if we take the 0.448 atmospheres right here and add that to 0.802 atmospheres, we have a sum of, what do you know, 1.25 atmospheres as our total. So that's a good way to check your work, to make sure that the two partial pressures add up to the total pressure. If for some reason they don't add up correctly, then you know you've made a mistake somewhere along the line. So that's a good example with Dalton's law of partial pressures. Let's try one more example. This time it says a gas chamber has a total pressure of 1.80 atmospheres. If 10.0 grams of oxygen gas, O2, and 10.0 grams of nitrous oxide, N2O, are present in the chamber, what will be the partial pressure of part A, oxygen, and part B, nitrous oxide? So once again, this is a Dalton's law of partial pressures problem, so I'll put that equation up there. So just like in the other example, I like to draw a diagram. This helps me to see what is going on here in the problem. So we have 10.0 grams of O2 and 10.0 grams of N2O with my little pressure gauge up here that says my total pressure is 1.80 atmospheres. Now, some students might look at this and say, well, 10 divided by 20, it's just 50-50, right? Is that how it works? Well, no, because remember, X in this equation right here stands for what? It stands for the mole fraction, not the gram fraction. We're going to have to take these gram values and convert them to moles before we can really even do anything with this problem. So let's do that step first. Let's convert the grams to moles. So the first one here, 10.0 grams of oxygen, I have to put grams on the bottom and 1 mole on the top. And if I consult the periodic table, I see that there are about 32.00 grams in 1 mole of O2 gas. So when I divide that out, 10 divided by 32, I find that I'm working with about 0.313 moles of oxygen gas, O2. I have to do the same thing for that nitrous oxide. So 10.0 grams of N2O, and I want to convert that to moles, so grams on the bottom, 1 mole on top. I consult the periodic table, 2 nitrogens at about 14.007 apiece, plus 1 oxygen atom at about 16.00, and that gives me a total of about 44.01 grams in a mole of that compound. So now when I divide 10 divided by 44.01, I find that I'm working with a total of 0.227 moles of N2O. So now with these mole values, I can actually calculate a mole fraction and solve the problem. So let's go ahead and do that for part A, which is the partial pressure of oxygen. So the mole fraction of oxygen is 0.313 moles of O2 divided by the total number of moles. So once again, I have to add these moles together just like I did in the last example. So 0.313 plus 0.227 gets me a total of 0.540 total moles in the container there. Now I have to multiply this by the total pressure. The problem says my total pressure is 1.80 atmospheres. So when I do the math here, 0.313 divided by 0.540 times 1.80 atmospheres, I get an answer of 1.04 atmospheres. So that's my partial pressure of O2, oxygen gas. I have to do the same thing in part B here for N2O. This time, I'm working with 0.227 moles of nitrous oxide, and the total moles is the same as it was before, 0.540, adding those two values together. And of course, I have to multiply this by the total pressure in the container, which is still 1.80 atmospheres. And when I do the math here and take 0.227 divided by 0.540 and multiply by 1.80 atmospheres, I find that the partial pressure of N2O is very close to 0.76 atmospheres. Now, let's check our work. If we did our work correctly, then the two partial pressures should add up to give us the total pressure, 1.04 atmospheres plus 0.76 atmospheres, and that absolutely does give us the total pressure of 1.80 atmospheres, so we evidently did this correctly. Hey, I hope you learned something from this video and from this series of videos about gas laws. If you did, please consider slamming that thumbs up button, that like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you really are interested in learning chemistry, whether it's just for your own benefit or for your chemistry class, please subscribe. That way you don't miss a thing here on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video where we can learn some more chemistry together.